my name is Carlos Benitez. I'm the Senior Director at ACCA Beverly Hills. It is my pleasure to welcome you today, and I hope to see you in person so I can show you the wonderful art on display at ACCA Beverly Hills. Today, I will have a conversation with Glenn A. Gordon, a master photographer making epic photographs from California Oceanside places to Yosemite Falls and beyond. Over decades, he's captured all kinds of water sports moments that you only see in his epic photographs. I really hope you enjoy the conversation between Glenn and I. So, Glenn, I'm glad you made it this morning.
Thanks for having me.
It's Saturday. I want to do this thing every Saturday, like in Carlos' office, where artists come and we have these conversations. Could be like, just you, your work, the stories, the scenes. Obviously, we know you as this epic photographer who is doing these epic shots.
Okay,
I mean, sometimes I call them impossible shots because I can only imagine the things you had to do to get those shots. I mean, do you have anything that you can tell us about some of those experiences today?
Yeah, I mean, even looking at these 3 pictures on the wall and stuff, it just, somehow I have a lot of patience. I mean, if you're waiting for a specific shot, I mean, there's some stuff that just happens and you're just lucky enough to be there at that exact time. Basically about, all of these, I mean, it's just a matter of, you hear there's going to be a swell, or you hear, the weather's going to be perfect, or of a specific surfer that's going to be there. You just, make a point of being there, and hopefully something magical will land up on your camera if you just keep on clicking away.
I see. But that's interesting because it's so like the weather, the environment, right? Sometimes that's the shot, but you have to be, like you say, very patient because you never know when that's going to happen. There's no dialogue. Between you and nature. So
you go to these places blindly. I mean, you'll hear there's a swell in Ventura, and you go down, and by the time you get there, the winds have blown it all out. So you sit there and you've wasted a day, kind of a thing. But there's always still, obviously I don't only shoot, surf photography. So landscapes or seascapes, I'll manage to salvage whatever trip I take to shoot whatever it is I'm out to shoot. But luckily, I mean, the surfers, the waves, there's always something to capture.
And some of the landscape works, I see them almost like not real, like there's a fantasy feeling to it. And I'm just wondering, like, is there some post-production after the work?
Yeah, there's always some post-production. Even though I work with cameras like a Canon 5D Mark IV or even a Leica, you always want to sort of look at the contrasts, the darks, the lights, make sure your lights aren't blown out too light. There's just, I don't manipulate as far as, looking at like AI pictures and you want to put a this and a that. I mean, if I add something, it's my own photograph of whether it's, a beautiful clouded sky or a sunset or, something, but I don't usually do that. So I do tweak a little with exposures or contrasts.
So when I see a shot where there's a lot of water, like sometimes just like this magical splashes that I see or drops, I mean, that is not something that you add. That's so like
that's it exactly
in the moment.
Yeah. I like to try to keep it as real as possible.
And these are the shots that I feel like even when you're there and you're looking at these moments, you miss because they're so quickly, right? I mean, you're looking at those scenes. The camera is able to capture what you probably miss. Yeah,
most definitely, especially if you're behind it and you're just, high speed shutter clicking and you're hoping to, capture something. Even with like surfing, I mean, these guys are cutting along and you're panning with them and you're thinking, oh my, and then you get home like, oh, cool. I actually, caught that, where he's shooting a rooster flying off the top, or, it's something like that. There was a shot this last year in the Olympics that the French photographer caught of, one of the surfers coming up. It's the epic worldwide phenomenon photograph of the board and the surfer. And
it went viral.
I'm thinking, if I was only there, I could have caught that picture.
I mean, the mass media that was there. Right?
Oh my
gosh. One guy cut it. It's like, that's why I'm saying you're like this epic photographer, just like that moment that everyone misses.
I try.
But on some of your work, I see athletes, I see people, right? They're doing the sailing, they're doing the surfing. Do you have a dialogue with them in terms of like, hey, I'm going to be here, and I mean, is there such a thing?
Sometimes, I'll be on the beach. I got the hat and the, depending on the weather, and they'll walk by and they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to go out there, and I said, well, just do something special, and I'll capture it. Really? And I actually have I made up little black rubber wristbands with my name and phone number. So I'll hand it to them. It's like their their wetsuit material.
I see.
So cool. They're like, oh, this is pretty cool. So instead of handing them a paper business card, and they go out in the water, and it's
cool.
But yeah, I mean, they'll come up to me after you just catch my shots, and I'll just scroll through my pictures on my camera, and they're like, so I said, yeah, give me a call in a week or two, and sell them a print or whatever, however it works.
Do you like that more than capturing someone that doesn't know that you're there, and I feel like it doesn't affect the performance, they don't know.
Exactly.
So they're doing their thing. I mean,
it's probably usually like that.
It's
probably usually like that, where I'm just taking pictures of the action, and then if I see them coming out of the water, I'll, shake them down and say, hey, check this out, and then like, oh my, this is cool. Because I mean, these guys don't get pictures of themselves. I mean, unless you're a pro surfer. So I'll give them my bracelet, and they'll call me, and I'll send them maybe a digital file so they could do for on their socials and tag me. But yeah, it's and they're all pretty cool. I mean, they're excited that someone's taking pictures of them out in Ventura or El Porto or Malibu.
Right.
Yeah.
This is one of those sports that I feel like they're private, like they go out on their own many times, and I feel like they want to be in their own space.
Yeah.
So I can imagine knowing a photographer is taking pictures. I feel like that could, maybe change their performance on the water or on the sports. So how did it start? I mean, how long have you been doing it? What sort made you go this way?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I don't surf. I don't know. I just find that it's a real art form that, if you capture that moment of, let's say this one up here where the guy's just got this great, posture or doing something special and flying off the top of the wave or in the tube, or it just, I don't know, it just says, I have no idea. It's just something that I've got this passion for X amount of years that I just always thought to be able to get. And obviously, I mean, I grew up in California. I've pretty much lived within 30 minutes of Malibu and, County Line and Topanga and stuff pretty much my whole life. But yeah, it's just a matter of just this need to capture something unique that these guys do out there.
Right. So you're shooting what you grew up seeing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so I like to hear things like that, But traveling is important for you too. So obviously I've seen some of your work, Yosemite, national parks, and it feels like you're always moving.
Yeah.
Like what?
My wife will attest to that.
Oh, okay. Is this your
There's
idea
always a
or
trip
her idea?
There's always a trip in the future. Hopefully that it's close to something that's amazing, which we haven't lacked in that. We were in Iceland and Norway a couple months ago, but we've traveled to Nazaré. Well, we've yeah, and we travel to Portugal cities and stuff.
I see.
But yeah, I mean, as far as like national parks, I have this, you know, enthusiasm, I guess, whatever, to photograph, because there's Ansel Adams, who's like the godfather of black and white landscape photography. And so we go to Yosemite somewhat often. So it's just a matter of like, I'm thinking black and white, I'm thinking, great landscape, just trying to, capture something that's people probably, who knows how many tens of thousands of people have already photographed, but I'm trying to create something different.
Right. Is there like something you have in mind, or a place that you want to go and do like
As of now,
epic shots?
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of pictures of like the Dolomites in Italy, and like the cliffs in Ireland, and I mean, you see all these pictures and like, oh my gosh. But I'm good with just going back to Yosemite and doing shots. I still haven't done a lot of photography there in like post snowstorm.
I see.
So that's sort of on the bucket list.
Well, I mean, Ansel Adams lived there, and I don't think he was done with all the work he created. So
yeah.
Like
No, the guy's phenomenal.
you can live there every day and still not be done.
Well,
with
that's the
that
thing.
park.
Yeah, like you say, with the different, weather, issues, or whether the clouds are there or not. We photographed, or I should say, I photographed. My wife went. We went to Yosemite last February, and I photographed the Firefall, which is this phenomenal event that happens there in February.
I saw that, and I saw it in black and white the first time, which I was actually surprised to see it, because in color is how you expect to see a shot like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So have you shown it in color?
I do have it in color. I actually have that one on the Ansel Adams inspired Facebook page, and it's like over 1,000 views, and it's black and white, which I was sort of hesitant, but I'm thinking, okay, everyone knows, the people that know, they know. So you don't see many black and white shots that you normally see in color, like the Firefall, because that is the grandeur of the event of the sun hitting the Horsetail Falls and turning it looking like it was on fire coming down. But it came out really nice. I mean, it's I like to bring in good black hues and make the whites pop.
Right. What camera do you use to shoot that?
That was the Canon 5D Mark IV with a 100.
Does it do better like on the low light, or like what?
It's good. It's a good camera. I mean, the more I'm on social media, the more, it seems like people really dig that camera. And it just is a good all around, solid camera, So, I mean, I use it on my surf stuff. I use it on my landscape stuff. I've got, multiple lenses for, doing the zoom and the wide angles. And so far it's been a workhorse, kind of a thing.
Have you ever think about going underwater with some of your work?
I do, but that would come with the special casings and wanting to go jump in an ocean somewhere.
You had to learn how to dive, I guess.
Yeah, that's the thing.
All these things,
yeah. So that's probably why I never became a surfer, was just that whole, idea of, getting, trampled by waves and stuff. Nice. But the shots that I see of the guys that are underwater, and you see the, like the post wave and, shooting up and the surfers under, there's some beautiful photography.
Would those be underwater, you think? Or?
Yeah, no, those guys are on. They're wearing the helmets. They got the underwater casings, and
I see.
Yeah, they're in.
I always wonder, because they look beautiful to see them from behind.
Yeah,
and then see like the translucent, even the shadow you see.
Yeah.
Which is.
And you could do the half and half, where you see underwater and you see above water.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love those shots.
No, the water. Those photos are
great.
Yeah.
Well, I hope to see more of your work. your new, your new series, and
Thanks, yeah.
your new places. And if there's anything else you want to say before we go, this is the time, man.
Yeah. No, again, if you're interested in seeing my photography, you go on my Instagram page, which is Glenn A. Gordon, 1958. Everyone knows how old I am now. You know what I mean?
My goodness. Okay. You are a gentleman.
See? Come on.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks, man.
Thanks so
Good
much.
to
It was
see
a
you.
blast.